洒落たオープニングと BGM から始まりましたこちらのゲーム、Lord Winklebottom Investigates というゲームになります。ウィンクルボトム教の実験簿とかそういう感じかな。こちらのゲーム、まずご覧の通り、非常にみんなにの整った素晴らしい紳士であるキリンのこちらがウィンクルボトム教らしいです。こちらの紳士がいろいろと調査をして、謎を解決するという面白いゲームとなっております。よろしくお願いします。誰メイド。キャー。お察しの通り、全部動物。ご主人様か、ウーパールーパーかな。ご主人様が亡くなり、メイドさんが慌てておられる。そういうシーンから始まったところ、楽しみだね。ウィンクルボトム今日影がもう一発でわかる。これはありがたい。
Well then, Frumple, that was quite the case, wasn't it?
Oh, indeed so. Already made the evening edition, don't you know? I picked up a copy when I went to buy the boat ticket. We'll be quite the heroes, I think.
Hopefully they don't dwell too much on the part where one of the weasel gang cracked you over the head with a pool cue and nearly made off with all the gold, eh?
Wretched blighter called me from behind. Just not cricket, is it?
Still, all worked out in the end, my friend, and just in time too, as you have this party with Admiral Gilfrey to attend.
Look, who is this chap anyway, Winklebottom?
Oh, Gilfrey's an old school friend of mine, top of his class, went on to become an admiral, then latterly undertook a number of privately funded expeditions to all four corners of the globe.
Bit of a swot then, eh? We had no time for his sort at my school.
Evidently so, my friend. Right, let's get this boat ticket and be on our way. Where is the ticket anyway, Frumple?
Oh, I slipped it into the newspaper for safekeeping.
新聞紙の下を調べたらいいんだけど、それ以外にちょっと待って、これがリストテレス・ギルフリー提督。あ、さっき亡くなった旦那様じゃないか。謎の招待状を送る孤島に住んでいる。ティータイムかい？
I put the tickets in the newspaper.
ヒントボタンかこれ。ティータイムじゃないのか。スカーフなんかいいね。少し短めなのが残念だと。で、ゴミ箱にはボロボロになってきている。本当だ。
Yes, and whose fault is that? Don't know why you keep buying these straw ones. You know you can't resist a nibble when you pack it.
キリンのあれが出ているね。
Nice new straw basket, I think.
どうしてもあれなんだね。絵画。あら。
Do you remember this case?
真珠の耳飾りの少女だっけ。
Made a mint selling forgeries of famous works of art until you stepped in.
That's right. Kept this one as a souvenir. It's a reproduction of the goat with a pearl earring.
偽造品か。レプリカもらってきたのね。他は窓。
The streets of London. Fair to say we've seen this city at its best and its worst over the years, eh, Frumple?
Nanny used to tell me the streets of London were paved with gold. Daft old bird. It's just stone and dirt, same as everywhere else.
Ever the optimist, my friend.
昔はロンドンこそがっていう感じだったのかな。ティーポットがまだ熱いね。で、茶でも一杯。
One of Frumple's many teacups.
サンプルのティーカップ。
A jug of milk delivered fresh this morning, I believe.
Indeed, yes. Miss Daisy brought it over personally.
じゃあ新聞紙を見ようか。
Winklebottom cracks the case. A touch sensational, but they appear to have got most of the salient facts correct.
Never mind all that. What do they say about me?
Well, let me see. Yes, here it is. Lord Winklebottom was assisted, as ever, by his associate, Mr. Frumple.
Mister? Dash it all, I didn't spend 8 years in medical school to be called Mister. Bunch of bloody hacks.
Well, never mind that now, old boy. We have to get going if we catch this boat before nightfall.
No, I'm quite vexed now. I shan't leave until I've had a fresh cup of tea to calm me down. I'm practically tepid.
Oh, very well. I'll make you a fresh cup. The pot should be ready now. Here's the ticket. I'll keep hold of this for now.
チケットを持ったね。オッケー。ノートを見てみよう。別にめくれないわ。ノートっていうのは出せないね。あ、下に行くとあるわ。お茶は？お茶を一杯飲もう。調べるボタンとあれか入れるボタンかな。
Now to pour some out for the good doctor.
さんにお茶を入れてあげよう。はい。クリックドロッ トラックね。で、右クリックで説明が見られる。はい。
A pot of tea, wait.
なるほど。じゃあこれで、これをティーカップに注
And
ぎ。
in with the tea.
紅茶もさ、作法があるんじゃなかったっけ？あ、ミルクも入れんのね。これが取得ボタンか。骨にいいだろう。ミルク。じゃあミルクも入れて、
Put the milk in the cup.
ミルクティーね。じゃあこれを、
Here you are
はい、
then,
ど
a
う
nice
ぞ。
fresh cup of tea.
That's much better. I say,
紅茶を
this
先
tastes a
に
bit
入れ
off.
たり。
Did you put the tea
した。
in first or something?
Ah, was
ご
that
めん。
Wrong? Wrong? What sort of animal do you think I am?
A most fine one, my friend. Come along, we need to be off. The ticket says we are to meet Mr. Walters at the docks, and he'll sail us out to Guilford's Island.
Oh, very well. I suppose this will have to do. Tea
あんまり。
first, I ask you.
ごめん。作法知らなくてごめん。ミルク先なの？知らなか
Ah,
った。
just smell that salty sea air. Takes me back to my childhood holidays on the coast with Guilfrey. Even then you could tell the old boy was destined for a life on the waves.
Don't much care for it myself. Went on a ghastly school trip to Blackpool as a lad. I tried to go for a donkey ride. Donkey was furious. He told me I was too heavy. Wretched fellow.
Well, never mind
Kappa
that now,
が
old
ロバに
boy.
乗
We
ろう
need
と
to
し
find
た。
the docks and this
なかな
salty
か。
Walters chap who's going to take us over to
ティー
Guilford's
ボル
Island.
ター。手詰まりになったらフランプル博士に聞いてみよう。ティーカップが、だからこれね、これがあれなのね。じゃあとりあえず調べられるところは全部見ていきたいと
A
こ
number of
ろ。
wooden barrels. They all seem to be sealed up and in use.
中身が入ってる。
A touch narcissistic, I
少し
feel.
ナルシストっぽいかね。
My steadfast companion
手
and
売れる
colleague,
友であり
Dr.
同僚
Reginald
リジ
Frumple.
ナルト・フランプル博士。キングズ・スナウト。
One of the old English kings lost his head in the Great Frog
カエ
War,
ル
if
大
I
戦
remember
争
my
で首を
history.
取られた。
Careless, if you ask me.
このなかなか開いた窓。
Oi,
おい、
do
何を
you
する？
mind? I've got enough problems what with being shut out of my
Oh,
own
no.
pub without
Women
having
there.
some lanky bleeder like you sticking his nose into my private bedroom.
ごめんね。ウィンクルボトム橋を普通に歩いててもこれ見えちゃってさ、ごめんな。オーナー。
Let me in, you
開けろ。
bleeding
くせ者
crooked
の犬心か。
canine. Oh, hello, sir. Sorry, in
中
a
で
bit of a
何
jam
死んだ
here.
されてる。挨拶よ。
Good day to you, sir.
どうもご機嫌よ。ご機
Bleeding
嫌
well
なんか
isn't
じゃ
a
ねえさ。
good day.
目的なしの
That
ボルターが俺を
reprobate
パブから
Walters
追い出
has
しやがっ
locked
たん
me
だ
out。of my own pub. I do apologise, sir. Shouldn't take it out on you like, but he's going to drink me out of business if I don't get back in there to stop him.
Indeed so, quite the predicament. Can we help you get the door open? I'm rather afraid I have business with this Walters fellow.
He's bleeding well gone and locked the door from the inside. And my spare key's in my bedroom on the top floor. How am I meant to get up there?
Sounds rather like your forte, what?
I do have a certain talent for retrieving things from high places, yes.
Oh, if you wouldn't mind, sir. It's the window on the right up there. Not the left one. That leads to the hallway and we had it sealed up. It lets a proper terrible draft in right through the pub. You catch our death if you open that one.
なるほど。こうやって話を進めていってやれることを増や
Keep
すんだ。
away from that
あ
window.
ごめん。じゃあ、こちらを失礼。宝石がありますが、鍵なんだけど、宝石調べると、触れちゃうじゃん。見る
Ah,
だけにしよ
pearls for a swine.
う。豚の真珠。鍵を。うわぁ、
Oh, well, I can see them, but they're rather frustratingly out of
下が
reach.
届かない。
These must be the keys.
下が届かない。下、伸びる方法ある他に。あと、パブは行けない。オーナーは話しても多分無理。左はない。右は。ハトバーもある。ハトバーってなんか道具を。あ、こちら借りたらいいんじゃない？勝手に持ってっていいのか？ちょっと失礼って言った方がいいんじゃない？
Ah, perhaps
穴
this
開い
is
て
the
ない。
vessel Mr. Walters will be using to convey us to Guilford's Island.
Dash well hope not. What with that blasted great hole in the side of
フ
it?
ライングダックスフントって書いてある。港の働き
I
者。
say, old chap, a moment of your time.
挨拶。
Greetings, my
ご
good
機嫌
man.
よ
Good。day to you. What can I do for you?
I have a ticket for conveyance of myself and my colleague here with a Mr. Walters.
That layabout. Oh,
okay.
I know him all right, but you'll not be going anywhere with him till he pays his docking fees. Nobody leaves this dock without my say-so. No docking fees, no permit to leave.
I say, Winklebottom, this Walters fellow sounds like a flaky sort of character, what?
なるほど。許可
Well,
書
can we
っつう
discuss
のは
this permit? How might we obtain a permit?
Well, you could get Walters to pay his
ウォル
docking
タ
fees,
ー
but
が
that's
料
not
金を
likely to
払えばいい。
happen. Tell you what, I'm a bit short-staffed
なるほ
today.
ど。穴
So
開い
if
て
you
るの
help
は
me with repairing this ship, I'll give you a permit.
Manual labour? Don't much like the sound of that. I have a surgeon's hooves, don't you know?
お医者さんだって、あれだろ、肉体労働だろ、手伝
Well,
おう
what
ぜ。
can we do to help?
I can do the actual work, but I've run out of wood. I need some planks or something.
Very well, we shall obtain some wood for you.
わかった。
Also, this barrel of tar here is solidified. I don't
Tar.
need much, but I need a way to melt some of it.
Some way to melt the tar, I see.
Shouldn't be a problem for a genius like you, eh, what?
Right then, Frumple, let's see what we can do about getting hold of
じ
this
ゃあちょっと
permit.
頑張ろうか。ロープも借りていいのか
A
い？
long piece.
Looks a bit like my second cousin.
Ivan bin no
Odd fellow,
itoku ni
always trying to
sushi
offer people apples
2
for
番
some
目のいと
reason.
こに少し似ているああ、海は広いな。これ借りていいかい？
Let's take this with.
借りられる小さなボートもあ
I say,
る。
Winklebottom, have a look at this tiny little boat. Wouldn't fancy my chances trying to cross the sea in this thing, eh?
Quite
そう
so,
だね
old man.
ちょっと乗れないんじゃないか。カモメさんもいる。海が綺麗だ
Ah,
ね。
smell that, my friend.
Ah, disgusting smell. Gone to bide seawater. Tried to swim in the sea on my holiday to Blackpool and got a mouth of the
カバ
filthy
ーだか
stuff.
ら淡水じゃないと
Disgusting.
ダメな
Well,
の
you
か。
should really keep your head above the water, you know.
Easy for you to say. My head is rather closer to my body than yours.
Something
No,
called
I'll stick to good
the
old-fashioned
cube.
waddling, thank you very much.
溺れたのか。道具箱。
You know, Frumple, we might be able to make use of this saw.
木材。
Blimey, not the friendliest chap, is he?
あら、カモメさんにも話しかけないとダメじゃない。こんにち
Uh,
は。
excuse me, sir, would you mind? I say, there's really no need for that.
Fearsome-looking blighter, I'm keeping
こ
well
ちら
away.
はお話ができないタイプのカモメ。樽。
A collection of barrels. Seem heavy, so they're all in use.
なるほど。樽は溶かさなきゃいけないし、樽の中のタール樽の中のタールを溶かさなきゃいけない木材を、集めてこなきゃいけない。でも、カモメが今邪魔している。とりあえず鍵をゲットするために、こっちか。いや、ごめん。いろんなところを見たくなっちゃうが、開いた窓に入り、道具を使いましょうね。ボートフックで、
Ah, yes, this seems to be just a ticket. Perhaps I should keep this hook for.
よし。宝石は、宝石をカモメに渡し、いや、クラスじゃないから、あれかでオーナーに鍵渡したらいいんじゃない？はい
Right。then, this should do the trick.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir. Right then, let's see what that bleeder has been up to in my pub.
さあ、
Wouldn't fancy being in that fellow's shoes, eh?
ずっと紅茶持ってる。ボトル、
Picking up litter, eh?
ゴミ
Very
拾
clever.
いというか、使うかな？
I'm not quite sure what I want this.
やっぱり、とりあえず、あれよね。何に使うか分かんなくても取りたくなっちゃうよ
You'll
ね。
bleeding well pay for this, Walters. Look what you've done. This
すげえ飲んだんだな。
bleeding barrel is bleeding well
しこ
empty
たま
now.
飲んだわけね。
Get out, you hear?
Keep your snout out me
Sweetie
business.
water.
I be leaving in my own time. I won't be taking no orders from a landlubber like you.
海
I
の
say,
男なん
Frumple,
か。
this is the chap who's going to sail us to the island.
Fellow looks like he's barely able to stand, let alone sail the ship.
あらあらあら。かなり飲んだね。これはすごいよ。集合か。とりあえず、常連客の方
Shifty-looking sort, if you ask me.
What makes you say that? He seems like a perfectly fine gentleman to me.
Can't rightly say. Something about primates. It's the eyes, I think. Something in them that's almost not animal.
あんまり、あれなのか、樽。
A barrel made from wooden
あ、空っ
planks.
ぽの樽あ、これもらっていいかないいこれ
I。say, barkeep, would you mind awfully if I took this empty barrel?
You'd be doing me a favour. That beer-soaked bulldog has emptied it anyway.
Damned if I can figure out where you keep all this stuff, Winklebottom.
やったじゃこれで木は問題がなくなったラム酒の水差しだって。ラム酒の
A
水差しっ
rum
て何
jug.
Suspicious, you think? Maybe an important clue.
水
No,
割りってこ
Frumple,
と
I
ラ
mean
ム
it's
の
a。jug full of rum.
あ、違うか。花瓶じゃない。水差しの中にラム酒が入ってるよっていう話か。別に今持っていく必要ないよね。地主になってるオーナーが。
How can I help you, sir?
I wonder what you can tell us about the sailor who's been slumped over that table over there.
The bane of my bleeding existence, that's what he is. He's cleared me out. Can you believe it? Drunk all me bleeding beer he has.
Very bothersome, I'm sure.
暖炉使っていい
I say, old chap, any chance of lighting the fire? There's a bit of a nip in the air after all.
No bleeding way. Cost me money, that does. And with that waste of space drinking me out of house and home, I need to save every last shilling. I'd have to get a lot colder before I start a
証
fire.
拠たくましいな。なるほど。
Well,
ター
thank
ル
you
を
for your
溶かすため
time.
に
Very good, sir.
暖炉をつけてもらいたいが、あれなのね。こちらの常連客
I
は
say, Winklebottom, this fella looks like a bit of a bore, eh, what?
Yes, very good, Frumple.
ヒカキボ。ヒカキ
Since the
ボルク
landlord
だ。
is looking the other way, perhaps I might borrow this for a moment.
お借りする
I'll be
Fella's probably used to things going walkabout in this place anyway.
お借りしちゃって、暖炉は
This fireplace is as cool as the atmosphere in here.
勝手に火つけていいんじゃない
These are made by the finest craft sources.
一流職人。わー、絵画もあっ
A
て。
painting of a ship. It's perhaps not the most refined piece of artwork I've seen.
Probably for the best. I wouldn't have anything valuable in this place, not with their clientele.
ガラス玉。
I have no idea what these are for, but they look terribly nautical.
これは触れない。じゃあ、空のグラスを見て、
I don't know about you, Frumple, but I'm a touch perturbed about the competence of our sozzled sailor.
Chap must be completely half cut if he's drunk that lot.
いや、立ってるんじゃないか海の男だろ。ビールを見て、取
The
り上げる
sailor's。glass of beer. One would hope it is last.
丁寧に飲んでる。じゃあ、ごきげんよう。
Why, what is it?
挨拶しよう。
Greetings, my good man.
Well, spit it out. What be you wanting, stranger?
後悔
You
した
are
いんだ
Salty
けど。
Walters, I take it.
That I am, and don't you be forgetting it neither.
Then you want to take us to the Isle of Barghest.
Nope, I be staying here with me drinks.
Come on,
I'll not be sailing
you did
today. Not for
Okay.
you nor anybody else.
I say, you Rotter, we have tickets, you know. Paid for in advance.
Nar.
Now look here, you bounder. We have tickets and you will jolly well sail us out to that island. Dash it all.
I won't
Kuchiga
be sailing today. I drinks me beer to wash away the terrible taste of...
Ironic that a man named
no, I
Salty should hate the taste of seawater so, isn't it, Frumple?
Dashed inconvenient if you ask me.
Well, goodbye then.
Fellow seems more than a little worse for wear thanks to all
Motto
that
nomu.
beer.
もっとあげたら、さあ、あれなんじゃないなのに、塩の味を嫌う。ソルティーウォルターなのにね、大酒飲みで、こっちはあれなのか、ラーム酒いる。
Get your
Tika.
bleeding hooves off. Now, would you mind leaving that where it is, please, sir? I lose a dozen of those a day to these thieving bleeders.
どうすんだヒカキ棒で、スン
I have reservations about
少
doing
し抵
this.
抗がある。ヒカキ棒でこの中あさったらなんか出てきたりしない
You can prod those logs all you want. It's not going to spontaneously combust, you know.
Yes, thank you, Frumple.
ないか。使えるもの。乗船チケット見せる。ほら。
Why, what is it?
ダメだ。
Well, goodbye then.
Fellow seems more than a little worse for wear thanks to all that beer.
ボートフックとかもある。一旦外に出て、カモメをどうにかしようか。ロープつけてさ、引っ張
I'm
ったらいい
really
んじゃ
not
ない
sure what the...
ダメかいカモメが何をしたいのかがわかんないんだよな。
I say that...
Fearsome looking.
ラム酒をあげて、カモメが酔っ払ってる隙にこれをいただくとか、そういうあれかなって思ったんだけど。あ、
Now let's see if we can't get this window open.
窓を、
No,
I
it's
could
no
do.
good. Stuck fast.
Give
There we
another go. Probably just been painted over.
Well, if you say so, just one more... Oh. Oh dear, well that didn't go well according to plan. How awfully
力加減
embarrassing.
間違えちゃ
Still
った
got。the job done, what?
これで隙間風が入って寒くなって、
You know, I
で
really do feel
暖炉を
absolutely
入れ
terrible
て
about
くれるんじゃないか。で、開いた窓から、ちょっと宝石、
Lord Winklebottom
Yes,
committing common...
ダメか。ありえない。
Lord Winklebottom committing...
よかった。取らないで済むわ。そこまでのあれじゃなかった。 パブに入り、
I say, it is rather chilly in here, what?
Yeah, it's colder than Poseidon's
ポセイ
straws
ドン
in
の下
here.
着より冷えるな。
Oh, for goodness sake. I'll have to light the bleeding fire now.
暖かくする。あったかくなったことでヒカキ棒で
Now to heat this poker up somewhat.
ヒカキ棒
Yes,
温め
this
よ
has
う。
done
素
the
晴ら
trick
しいね。
splendidly.
Be careful with that thing. Don't want to burn a hole in your britches.
なるほど。これであったかかったヒカキ棒を持ってあっちに行ってタールにぶち込んであれするんだ。タルを持
Right
って
then,
いくあ
Frumble,
れ
just
じゃ
watch
ないんだ。
this. Yes, the hot poker is melting through the tar like butter.
Oh, what a noxious sniff. Let's get rid of this stuff quickly.
これで
This tar is hard as rock. We'll need it.
Can't stand the filthy stuff. Looks like mud, but just you try.
タールのついたヒカキ棒をあげる。
This is just what I need.
これでいいでしょ。あとはあとは
How can I help?
I say, old boy, would you mind
ラム
awfully
シについ
letting
て
us have that jug of rum you have sitting on the bar over there?
Well, I suppose you did help me
あ
get back into
ご
my
ちそう
pub.
するよ。気前がいい。さすが
You can have the bleeding thing. On the house, like.
さすが旦那器がいい。
Well, thank you for your
器
time.
が大きい。
Very good, sir.
ありがとう。じゃあラム酒で乾杯しよっか。
We should take our reward with us.
じゃあほらラム
This
酒やろ
seems
う。
unlikely.
あ、ダメ？注いであげる。
No, I don't think this is.
こうじゃないのか。ほらラム酒あげ
Here you
よ
are then, sir. Some alcohol. Perhaps this will quench your thirst.
I say, you nearly ripped your blasted hoof off.
う。かわいい。ラッパ飲みしてる。どう？
Well,
落
that
ち着い
seems to have calmed him down considerably. But I can't help but feel we aren't really helping the poor wretch here.
どう？お話
You know
で
what,
きる？
Frumple? I'm rather inclined to leave this fella alone now.
そうか。あ、でもも
Now this fellow has calmed down,
Can you
I'm
give
sure
me-
he won't object to us borrowing his sword. You see?
う、よし。これを
Now,
タルに
Frumple, you hold onto the barrel,
Put it
and
in.
I'll attempt to chop it up.
Careful where you're waving that thing. No other doctors around to patch me up if you slip, you know.
そうだね。でこれで板ができて、はい。
Will this do the job?
Ah, yes. This'll do nicely. I could use this wood for me repairs. Thank you for that, fellas. Now I can repair the hole in this boat.
お、手際がいいね。
First class job. Even if I don't say so
大丈夫
myself.
か？
Well, nobody else is likely to.
Well, with that done, I'm finished for the day, so you're both free to go. Give this permit to Walters and let him know his debt is cleared. This time.
大丈夫かこの感じ。まあいいか。じゃあ貸しはなくなったっていうのか。いや、追ってきてよ。はい、許可証。
Aye,
Tell
what
him.
is it?
I say, old boy, we have a permit here. You're free to leave the docks whenever you wish.
Does that long neck of yours make you hard of hearing or something? I already said I'll not be leaving here while I still have me drinks.
I say, this is just too much. You, sir, are a cad, a bounder, a dashed rotter, hang it all.
Steady on there, old boy.
ダメか。
Well, goodbye then.
Fellow seems more than a little worse for wear, thanks to all that beer.
ビール取り上げる。
That be mine, you great thieving scallywag! Who's off it?
ほわー、ダメだって。ダメか。ロープで縛って持って
I
こう
have
よ
a。reservation.
ダメボトルあげようか。
No. It's no good. The rope can't get any purchase on.
三つ寿司に
I've tied the ropes with the handle of this.
ロープを結んで、三つ寿司を塩味が嫌いっつってたよね。これを海に浸し、
Now I'll lower the jug down on this rope and... Yes! We now have a...
ソルティーウォーター。これで、さあまあまあまあまあ水でも飲んでね。はいはい。
I'd really rather... ビ
ールに
What be you playing at? Get that away from me beer!
水も飲んだ方がいいよ。
Gonna need to distract the old curmudgeon if we get near his
気をそ
drink.
らす必要がある。なるほど。まだ、あれ辺なのか。あ、待って、ベルが触れるんじゃないか。
Yar! What terrible siren
ラス
song
ト
be
だっ
that?
てのか。
Last orders are upon us already.
そうだよ。
Quick, you rapacious rapscallion. I've been eating more beer.
ケチなアクト。で、これで水差しを、
Quickly, while he's not
Chotto.
looking, just pour
Satto.
this into his
Get there.
beer.
こちらを飲み、塩味でキャーってなるわけでしょ。かわいそう。かわいそう。
Yar! What be this foul flavour? Oh, me last beer is ruined, and that picaroon pig won't sell me no more.
Do I take it you might now be willing to carry out your job?
No reason not to now. Maybe the Admiral can see his way to providing me with a bit of the old grog. Go way back, him and me.
Shall we meet at the docks then?
Aye, I'd be waiting at me vessel. Make
仕
it
事
quick, mind you.
はちゃんとしてくれるんだね。いや、よかったよかった。よし、じゃあ行こうか。ベルの
My
存
word,
在
there
に気
appears to
づ
be
い
a
てなかっ
storm
たら。
coming in. We must make haste and
あ
get
ら
out of the island
嵐
before
が
it
来てる。
hits.
さっきまであんなに穏やかな日差しが良かったのにね。それで行くの？でっかい方じゃないのね。
Wait, you don't mean this is your ship?
Aye, that it be. And what
出
of
る
it?
かな？
I just don't think it looks particularly seaworthy.
She's a fine vessel. Served me on many a long voyage, she has. Besides, I be the only sailor for hire in the dock right now, so you don't have a choice.
That's not terribly reassuring.
Shall we set sail for the island then?
Aye, that we will. All me permits are in order, so all aboard for the Isle of Barghest.
よし。出港。面かじいっぱい。全速前進。嵐の中、あの小舟で行けるのか。どうにかなってる。目立つ。乗ってる。よくバランス取れるな。なんとか無事に着きそうだね。よかったよかった。山椒魚殺人事件。あら、旦那様が死んでいるわ。そうなってたもんね。ベティルさんか。
Made it at last. Madam, would you be so kind as to let your master know?
Oh, sir, it's terrible. A tragedy. The master, he's dead.
I said what?
It's true, sir. Oh, the poor master. I found him, sir, just floating there in his tube. Stiff as a board he was.
パイプの中に浮かんでるの
Gilfrey,
に。
dead, but this doesn't make any sense. He was in the prime of his life. The fellow was as strong as an ox.
Oh, very tiny ox anyway. Oh, I say, old chap, I am sorry.
We should take a look just to be certain. Madam, Dr. Frumple here will want to examine the poor fellow.
And if there's even a hint of foul play, you can be certain that Lord Winklebottom will get to the bottom of it.
Oh, my lord, thank God you're here. The master spoke of you often.
Tell me, who else is in the house?
Well, my lord, there's the staff. That's myself and Ambrose, the butler. The gong over there should summon him. Also Pumphrey, the gardener, though he's been moping around outside of late. Miserable old sod he is. Oh, sorry, my lord.
Anybody else?
Oh, yes, my lord. There are a great many guests here today. The master had a big announcement to make, he said.
Right, Frumple, we should have a look at poor Gilfrey, then introduce ourselves to the other guests. Thank you, madam, you've been most helpful.
You're welcome, my lord.
アリバイ
Have
な
you
ど
any luggage
よ
with
く聞
you?
いて
I can have
やっていかない
Ambrose
といけ
take
ない
it
ね。
upstairs for you.
Alas, no, we lost most of our possessions on the journey over here. Our means of conveyance
荷物を失った。嘘だ。
It was all I could do to keep all of me tea.
やっぱり無事ではなかったのか。じゃちょっと見て、ギルフリーのメイド、ベリル・クラッターバックさん。ソルティーウォーターより前にベリルが来るのか。アンブローズ。執事のアンブローズに。これってさ、文字が切れてるじゃん。リストテレスじゃなくて、もしかしてアリストテレス・ギルフリーか。もしや。いや、ごめん。なんか、 提督の方も切れてるじゃん。ということはこっちも切れてる可能性はあるんじゃないか。まずベリルに話を聞こう。
Perhaps we could discuss the other people who are here. Who else is on the staff here?
使用人のこ
Other
と
than
が
Ambrose, there's just
庭師
Pumphrey,
の
the
パンフリー。
gardener. Such a shame to see the house so low on staff. Oh, my lord, you should have seen the place where my
ベ
mistress
リル
was
とアン
still
ブローズ
alive.
でその他に執事がいる
Used
と
to be
思ってた
more
け
of
ど
it, eh?
アンブロー
Oh,
ズが
yes,
執事だから
It's
3人
really
か。
just a skeleton staff now. The master was away so much on his travels. More so since the mistress passed
なるほ
away.
ど。
He doesn't need a full staff these days, I'm afraid.
少数精鋭なの
What
ね。
can you tell me about the guests here?
I don't know any of them well. It's the first time we've had guests since the mistress died. God rest her soul. You're the last to arrive, so you'll find them all around the house.
あんまり、そっか、じゃあ話しかけてない
Thank
の
you
か。
very much. Do you know why we've all been invited here?
Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. I don't. The master was
研
being
究
most mysterious
して
about
い
it.
たのか。
Something to do with his research, I'd
研
fancy,
究
but
成果を
it's all beyond me.
持っていきたい人が殺したんじゃないか。
That'll be all for now,
そう
madam.
すると、ありがちな、あれだとね。いっぱい行くところあって楽しい。まず金。
Oh, I say, a gong. Shall I gong it?
I'm not entirely convinced that gong is a verb, but very
金
well if you...
じゃあ、音。
Gong.
You don't actually need to say gong, you know?
Oh, well, I suppose, but where's the fun in that?
Strange, the maid said this would call the butler, but he's nowhere to be seen.
アンブローズ来ないね。犬の銅
A
像。
bust of the great composer, Beethoven.
ベートー
Not
ベン。
just a great composer, but an excellent at tricks too, you know. I hear he was an expert at rolling over.
霊長類。
A bust of the great Caesar.
Caesar.
Geoffrey was most interested in ancient history.
Good grief, look at his eyes. They look even more soulless than the real thing.
What is it with you and primates, Frumple?
霊長類嫌いそうだね。いろいろあるんだけど、じゃあまず電話を調べて
It。would be prudent to alert someone on the mainland to the death. Hello? Operator? Ah, yes, hello. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to connect me to Scotland Yard. Inspector Culver's office,
カ
if
ル
you
バー警
please.
部。
Yes, thank you. What the devil? The lights have gone out.
なるほど。電話はダメと。
What on earth was all that about?
I'm not sure. I say, the telephone line has gone dead. And look at this.
Crikey, that's a bit of a mess. What could have done this?
Well, one thing's for sure, we're not going to be able to contact the mainland until we can get this
今
repaired.
切られたの今切られたのね。針金って何
This wire has been severed.
Wire
Cleanly too, by the looks of it.
Bit suspect if you ask me. Can we repair it?
Maybe if we can find some replacement wire to bridge the gap.
上は部屋があるのか。まずギルフリーの肖像画。
Ah, portrait of the great fellow himself.
Distinguished looking chap, eh, Winklebottom?
にエセルバータ。
This is a portrait of Gilfrey's late wife, Ethelberta. She died tragically young a
Oksaka.
few years ago.
How did she die, anyway?
It was a terrible incident involving an airship.
I say, crashed with her on board?
No, she flew too close to the propellers and, well, you can imagine the rest.
飛んで
Oh,
た。
grisly way to go.
バードストライクが。コンスタンスは
A painting of Gilfrey's only daughter,
一緒にいます
Constance.
ね。一緒に住んでないのかな。さっき話出なかったよね。鹿の頭。
I say, Winklebottom, that fellow must have been going like a bomb when you ran into that wall, what?
なんで笑ってくんないの
I think I've heard that one before. It's not in very good taste.
I suppose when you think about it, it is quite an odd tradition. A little morbid, in fact. Look, the poor fellow even has some of his clothing still on him.
This chap is beyond even your skills, I fear. Let's leave him be.
そうか。動物たちにとっては、そうい
Another
う感
fine
想
piece
に
of
なる
artwork
の
from
か。
Gilfrey's collection.
じゃあ、とりあえず客間に行ってみようか。こんにちは。音質があるの。あ、死んでる。写真。あ、小さい頃の写真。純男爵に牧師に蓄音機にじゃあ、一個ずつ
One
見
of
てい
those
こうか。
newfangled gramophone players. The music plays through this trumpet.
Modern technology is wonderful. Just look how tiny it is.
見ざる、言わざる、聞かざる。
I say, Winklebottom, I wonder if these chaps know what happened to Gilfrey.
You could ask, but I doubt they'd hear, and I don't suppose they saw anything anyway. And if they did, they wouldn't say.
そうだね。 レコードがいっぱい
A
ある。
collection of gramophone records.
I love their
音楽
sounds of the sea featuring periwinkle flange and the crustaceans. I love their music.
I think I'll stick to the classics.
音楽を好むタイプで。これは誰？
Ah, this chap is Lord Malcolm Schmidt. I've met him in a house a number of times. A great speaker, although I'm not sure all of it makes a good deal of sense.
Looks most distinguished.
Generally, yes, though not so much when food is around. He can get quite raucous at times.
海軍の写真。
Ah, look at him here, the pride of the Admiralty. They say he had the sea running through his veins.
彼の結婚式の写真。
Ah, look at this. It's Gilfrey and Ethelbert on their wedding day. A splendid time was had by all, I can assure you, Frumple. Such a tragedy Ethelberta passed away so young.
Yes, terrible business. Just terrible.
Now, let us have a look in
あれ、
here.
ごっちゃごっちゃ
Just
だ
some
な。
papers. How boring.
Not inherently so, but in this case, yes. They don't seem to be of any great interest. Although it does seem odd that they're in such a mess. It's almost as if someone is rummaging through them in a hurry.
この感
Best
じ。
way, in my
ね
opinion, gets it out of the way. I much prefer reading things with nice pictures in them. Medical books have some excellent drawings.
One would hope that you at least glance at the words, mind you.
じゃあちょっと牧師さんお話を。
Greetings, sir.
Ah, hello, my child. I am most pleased to make your acquaintance at this sad time.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Lord Winklebottom III, and this is my colleague, Dr. Reginald Frumple.
Bless you, my children. I am Reverend Archibald Peabody.
Do you know any of the other guests?
I believe I may have seen Madame Lavinia at some interfaith conference or other, but not to speak to. Other than that, I'm afraid not.
Do you know why Gilfrey invited you here today?
Oh, I'm afraid I wouldn't know. I've not heard from him for a few years, until just recently when he wrote to me out of the blue. I know he had something to announce, but I'm afraid I don't know what.
It is most intriguing, to be sure.
急に
Well, thank you
呼
for
び
your time,
つけ
Reverend.
られて
Oh, yes,
たの
quite
か。
so, my boy,
そうする
quite
と
so.
やっぱりなんか意図があって呼んだんだろうね。
A collection of books,
当たり前
nothing
の
of
こ
any
とを言っ
great
たね。
interest right now.
競技トロフィー。
A
何のや
sporting
つ？
trophy won by Gilfrey. He was always such a strong, fit chap.
Won a few sporting trophies myself in my youth, you know. Came second in the all boys egg and spoon race back at the old academy. They let me keep the spoon. Had to give back the egg, mind. Matron only laid it that morning.
ショー
An award for Amphibian of the Year. A
You'll
finer
say the
amphibian you
Yonzai,
can
yeah.
never hope to meet, eh, Frumple?
確かに。フィクションの小説。
Various works of fiction. These are most likely Ethelberta's. Aristotle preferred his scientific tomes instead.
Ugh, Shakespeare. The masters made us read it at school, toted old rot. Don't mind the one with the two lovers from rival families of mongooses and
海と
capybaras,
ジュリエット
though.
が。に甲冑があるね。
A relic of the Great Frog Wars. Gilfrey was most fond of ancient history.
I say, that axe he's carrying would do you a real mischief if you got on the wrong end of it.
でこのあれあっちにも誰かいるね。ウィンスレット準男爵。ごきげんよう。
Greetings.
Ah, Winklebottom, isn't it? I've written
Ara.
reports about your exploits for my
記事を書い
newspaper.
たことがあ
Oh,
る。
really? And which of our adventures have you covered?
Sorry, old thing. Not sure I recognize you.
Frumple? Dr. Frumple? You said you'd covered our cases.
Oh, that's right. You're the gentleman's gentleman.
相棒だよ、相棒。
Partners. Equal partners. Blasted hack.
All right, Frumple. Pleased to meet you, sir, but I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage.
Winslet's the name, old thing.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
I say, it's true what they say then. About you preferring to walk on all fours. Bit old-fashioned these days, what?
I just happen to think it's rather
そう
more
だね。みん
refined.
な
Plus he'd bash his
That's a
bonds on the
cool
ceiling if he
question,
tried to walk in the modern
今っ
style.
ぽい歩き方。君は
And how
何
do
て
you
呼ば
know
れたのか
Gilfrey?
い？
Do you know why you're invited here today?
In reverse order, not a blasted clue, and I'm engaged to his daughter Constance.
You're a journalist, you say. Could that be the reason you're here?
Might be, old boy. The old fellow wasn't entirely taken with me, truth be
スタン
told.
スの婚約者
But
か
if he。wanted somebody to get the word out about something, I'd certainly fit the bill.
You didn't get along with Gilfrey then?
Well, I mean, I've never actually met him, you understand. This is the first time Constance has brought me to the island. But I'm sure he wouldn't approve of me. Crikey, my own family don't. So why would somebody else's?
初めて来たのか。初めて来たの
So
か。
you're engaged to
本当
young
に？
Constance over there.
Oh, Winklebottom, I'm a changed cat since meeting her. I was quite the party animal, but fair to say,
恋が
she's
変えたの
tamed
か。
me.
You didn't get on with the Admiral, though.
It was nothing he said, you understand, but I don't think he approved. Don't have a lot of luck with family. Even my own
方は
disinherited me.
I say,
あ
that's
まり
rather
良く
hard
ない
with
の
them.
か。
Too many parties, I suppose. And being a journalist, well, it's not exactly an appropriate job for somebody of my status, you know.
Most unfortunate.
I get to keep the title. I'm a baronet, don't you know? But I'm afraid it's left me rather cash poor.
なるほど。
Thank you for your time.
じゃあ、木箱。
A curious box. Oddly, it seems to be fixed in place. It appears, however, that parts of the map itself might actually move slightly.
地図の部分を動かすんじゃないこれは触れるオーストラリア。あーなるほど。ちゃんとした順番で押さないとあれよっていうあれね。あっちや。なるほど。だから
You know, Frumple, I'm not sure we have all the info.
で写真これよ
I
こ
say,
れ。
look at this old boy. It's Gilfrey and I during our school days. Ah, those were happy times.
Not for me. Couldn't abide school. The other boys used to make fun of my name. Dump
Oh,
they call me. The rotters.
笑っちゃいけないところだが、パイプ。
This tube is part of the network of pipes Gilfrey used to get around the house. Being amphibious, he preferred to stay in these as much as possible.
Ingenious system, mind you.
どっから出てくんだろう。ギリギリ提督
Oh, just look at him, Frumple. Died in his house tube network. It simply doesn't make any sense. He was such a hardy fellow.
If we can get him out, I'll determine what killed him. Never you fear.
これで出せるのかな
Nothing to be done for the poor fellow until we can drain the water, I fear.
ああ、
We shall have to get him out of there if I'm to do an
ダメなんだ
autopsy. Can't very well determine the cause of death just by gulping him through the glass, you know.
水の中に毒が入ってたらそれでなくなってしまいそうな気はするけど違うかな。なんか誰かいない？誰か歩いてたよね今。見た？美味しそうな植物。
I say, this is a most appetizing looking foliage.
食欲をそそる葉。ということは食べちゃうのかな？味見する？
My word, this plant really does look frightfully tasty.
あ、味見しちゃった。紳士なのに。
Oh dear, how awfully embarrassing. I do hope that wasn't an
恥ずべ
important
き
clue.
行動をしてしまった。本当だよ。何の葉っぱだったかは教えてくれないのか。枝切りバサミが落ちてる。
Let's take these with us.
Indeed. I say, sheer folly. Because they're...
Yes, I understood. Actually, I believe they're secateurs.
枝切りバサミにホースが垂れてるね、水が。
I don't really want to lug around an entire hosepipe if I don't have a reason to.
それに食虫植物も
I
あって
once knew a chap who was killed after getting trapped in one of those. So Bumbles the second. Very nasty way to go.
南国の食虫植物もあるよ。
This pitcher plant is full of nasty looking liquid. Some kind of sap, I presume.
What did you call me?
これ何手に入れら
I
れる
have
の？
no idea what this sap is, and I'm certainly not going to touch it if I don't know it's safe. Maybe if we could find out more about it.
それにサボテンもある。
A cactus, covered in dozens of needles.
I'm keeping well away. Got a dreadful phobia of needles, don't you know?
Doesn't that rather interfere with your work as a doctor?
Not at all. I just close my eyes when I use them, that's all.
Look at me,
It's a very
did you?
common fear, you know. Most of the patients scream when they see me with one.
嫌だな。フランプル博士になんかされたくないな。ね。じゃコンスタンス、お嬢さん。まず挨拶。
Greetings, you must be Miss Gilfrey. Our most sincere condolences on your sad loss.
If it isn't Lord Winklebottom. Father talked about you often. And you must be Mr. Frumple?
Doctor, actually. That is, I mean, sorry for your loss, miss.
First mother and now this. I think we must have done something unspeakable in a past life to suffer so much pain in this one. Don't you agree, Lord Winklebottom?
There has been some terrible tragedy here, I agree, but I fear there may be some more earthly causes for the most recent one, at least.
You think there's villainy at work here?
We don't know yet, however, his death was quite a shock, as far as I know, he was fit as a fiddle before he died. In any case, Dr. Frumple will be able to tell us more.
I think, if you don't mind, I'd just like to be left alone for a while.
そうだね。ちょっとじ
Goodbye
ゃ
for
あ
now, Miss Gilfrey.
また何かあったらちょっと協力をお願いしよう。そしたらとりあえず一旦部屋を出るにはこっちかなって思ったけど、あれどっちだ？あ、そうね。誰か来なかった？外行ける？外も行けんのか。いやでも順番に見ておきたいところ。使用人部屋。気になるものがいっぱいあるんだけど、ぬいぐるみ。
This looks like a child's doll. It seems to be a cuddly axolotl.
Bit of an odd thing to keep around.
旦那様。ついたてがあって、ベッドが
Ugh, this bed is absolutely
めっちゃ濡
filthy.
れてるけど。
Crumble, what do you make of this?
Looks like some kind of slime or
Neat.
mucus.
軟体
I'd say
動
this bed
物。
is used by a mollusk of some sort. Filthy buggers.
それここは綺麗だね。使用人の部屋にはとりあえず今誰もいないのか。庭師とヤギとあとアンブローズか。怠け者かな、アンブローズは。ね。そうすると軟体動物の類のさ、使用人って別にいないよね、きっちりと。誰かいる？コンロ、石炭。
I suppose you have to light.
Splendid to...
石炭持っていこうか、とりあえず。
I can't
手
just
が
cause
黒
them to
くなっちゃうね。
spontaneously.
When I was in the Calf Scouts, we...
I see, and do you have any twigs handy?
You don't have to poo-poo all my
火つ
ideas,
け
you
な
know.
きゃダメか。火をつける必要がありそう。夜間がある。こ
At
れ
least we
で
know we can make more tea if
お
we
湯を
need
沸
to.
かすのか。
Oh, that's a relief. I feel like I've been nursing this cup for hours now. So I'll make it
Mette.
next time and put the milk in first, like you meant to.
ネリー持ってるわ。ごめんね。冷蔵庫も開け
Oh
て。
my god.
うわ、バターが丸
Look at
出
this.
しに
This
なっ
is
てる。
terrible.
これは
What? What is it?
乾いちゃうよ。
They're keeping red wine in the
かわいい。
refrigerator. This is sacrilege.
Oh, is that all? I thought you found something important.
熱したバター。
A block of butter. Might be useful. It's rock solid, however.
I like it when it's solid. Easier to take a bite out of it, you
か
know.
じりやすい。バター取って、上はなくって、で、これ閉めて、フライパンがあ
Crumple,
る
you're
が
the、food expert. Do you think we should take this with us?
As you wish, but don't expect me to know what to do with it. I'm rather more interested in the end results than the process, you know.
フライパンも借りて、戸棚はお皿だけ
Just some crockery.
缶詰か
Just
な
some odds and ends. Nothing useful.
で流しがあってこっちの戸棚も全部見たい。こっちもなんやか
Nothing
ん
of
やだ
interest in
ね。
here.
で最後の棚にはマッチあるじゃん。
Oh, there are some matches in this box. I'll take
Pretty
these, or rather
一
this.
回
There
で
only seems to be
仕
one
留め
match
ないとい
left.
けない。これは何？壊れた配
Just
線用エレ
open
ベ
this
ーター。
hatch.
Ugh, blasted thing won't stay open.
これは困ったね。通用口もある。フルーツがある。
A bowl of fruit. You know what they say, Frumple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Well, doesn't seem to have worked, does it?
まあでもリンゴはかなりあ
It's
れって聞
surprising
くよ
how often a
ね。
good sharp knife comes in handy during an
ナ
investigation.
イフ持ち歩くのいいのか。あと通用口は開く？
This door appears to be locked.
Akanai.
Most irritating.
Yes, quite so. Wonder where it leads to.
通用口だから普通に考えたら外じゃないか。で最後はダイニングルーム。誰？時計、
A fine-looking grandfather clock, though it appears to be stopped
最
currently.
近止まったのか。
I suppose nobody has wound it for a while.
My third cousin had one of these. I used to mess around with the hands to hear the cuckoo going off.
聞きたく
Are
て
you sure that's not a cuckoo clock you're thinking of?
No, no, my third cousin is a cuckoo and he really hates me messing around with his grandfather
そ
clock.
ういうこと地方のあれじゃなくてやめろってねいう声が聞きたくてやったのか。なかなかマダム・ラビニア占い師さんかな。挨拶しよう。
Greetings.
You are Lord Winklebottom, are you not?
I say, that's amazing. Did you see all that in your crystal ball? Or a message from the spirits, perhaps?
No, I saw an article about you in the newspaper earlier today.
Oh, well, yes, I suppose that would also work.
Anyway, I am very pleased to meet you.
霊媒師
I am Madame Lavinia, and I am a spirit medium.
Well, quite.
ということは
What can you
もう
tell
亡
me
くな
about
った
Gilfrey?
Oh,
ギルフリーの霊を呼び寄せて
such tragedy in this house, Lord. First my dear Ethelberta, and now Aristotle. Their daughter must be devastated.
Quite so, very sad business all round. Very sad.
What's your connection to Gilfrey?
I've known Ethelberta since she was a duckling. I've no idea why darling Aristotle invited me today, though. None at all.
なるほど
Thank you for your time.
この水晶玉も
I
素敵
believe
ね
these are used to see into the future. Rather a pity they can't see into the past, so we could find out what happened to Gilfrey. I say, Frumple, I can see a mist starting to form in this.
No, old boy, that's just your monocle steaming up because of the heat from the fire.
Oh, then we probably shan't get any answers this way.
花の入った花瓶も見て
A nice display of flowers. Lovely,
Oishou na
delicious
hana.
flowers.
感想が面白
I
い
suppose a tiny
勝てるの
nibble wouldn't hurt.
真
Careful,
実
old
な
thing,
の
you'll
に
get your head stuck in that vase.
I say you're right. Yes, my head goes all the way in. I can eat the stalks too.
全部食べちゃった花瓶持ってこいよ
There's nothing left to eat in this vase.
You're addicted, man.
使いスワットで暖炉
A roaring hot fire. Very cozy.
落ち着くね絵画こっちにも
This
絵画
painting
があ
is
っ
called
て
Adventure Awaits, apparently.
冒険が待っているな
Personally,
るほどこ
I could do with a bit less adventure in my life.
こにもパイプがあ
This
るのね
tube is part of the network of pipes Gilfrey used to get around the
Ingenious
それで
system.
あれだな窓は
large double windows looking out onto the island.
Not exactly the
天気だ
jolliest
から
view
な
one could ask for.
ね開ける
I'm not going to open these, it'll let out a terrible draft.
やはりデイムセリア
Greetings, madam.
ペリ
What's
カン
that, young man? Speak up!
I said greetings, madam.
No, it's no good.
よくない
No
ね
diction. That's the problem with you young people. You need to learn to project, my boy.
We're not going to get very far here, Winklebottom. My diagnosis is the old bird is deaf as a post.
I'm so glad to have you here, Frumple. I've no idea how I would manage without your
お
expert
話しする
opinion
の
on
に
such
何
matters.
そうだね
Thank you, old thing.
Thank you for your time, madam.
What's that? Move your head
なるほど距
closer.
離もあるの
I
か
can't hear you all the way up there.
I say, Winklebottom, do you know who this is? It's Dame Celia Wellington Boot.
I'm sure I have no idea.
But she's famous. Dame Celia was a star of the stage. I had quite the crush on her as a young calf.
裁縫道具のバッグ
Dame Celia's haberdashery bag. Knitting, sewing, wool, threads and such like.
なるほど編み物をするんだねじゃあとりあえず一通り見たから一旦外を見に行ってみようか誰かいてよ
You
ね
should make sure to fully interrogate everybody inside the house before venturing outside.
And besides, I wouldn't much fancy my chances in that storm anyway.
まだいるのかどっかにちっち火つけてみるかよいしょ
Need a steady hoof to do this, as there's only one match left. There we go, the cooker is heating up nicely now.
閉めて
At least we know we can make more tea if we...
Oh, that's a relief.
温まってるじゃん温まってるところに片手鍋を
Let's put the pan...
置いてそこに、バターを入れまして
How thrilling, I've always wanted to try my hoof at cooking. Ah, look Frumple, the heat has melted the butter into an oily liquid.
で油になるじゃんこれを
I can hardly pick this up with my bare hooves. We'll need something to soak it up, I wager.
Well, what about your mane? That's probably absorbent.
That's a disgusting thought, Frumple.
紙かなんかかみんなに にそっか。廊下のことを忘れてた。ごめんね。これは、あれ婚約者
A painting of one Max the
あ、違う。
Tux Sheldon. I say,
そっ
didn't
か。
this fellow help us out in
だ
the
ったか。
case once?
下の子は。
Indeed so. Quite a respectable chap now, but had a bit of a murky past, I recall.
Yes, gave us some information about a particularly loathsome fellow who'd been running a smuggling ring.
肖像画がいっぱいあるね。
I say, Frumple, this is a portrait of King Alec, a most popular monarch in his day.
Oh, indeed so. A very good old boy, as I understand it.
Quite so, Frumple. A good boy indeed.
あれ
A portrait of Vitus Varnus.
Maybe somebody Gilfrey knew from his military days. Looks like a pretty tough, brave sort to me, at any rate.
Seems like a most agreeable fellow.
個室があり。パイプここに繋がるのか。ということはここから
Part of Gilfrey's pipe network. This one must have allowed him to easily get into the bath.
Looks like great fun. Would be better with a mud pit at the end of it, though.
Different seats for small, medium and large posteriors. Saves accidents with smaller animals falling in the bowl. Most considerate. I don't wish to go right now, and certainly not with Frumple standing here.
流水チェーン。
Just a swift pull and the water flushes away.
Isn't modern science wonderful?
トイレットペ
Look
ー
at
パー
this.
に
Silly beggars put the
紙
toilet
を
roll
さ
on the wrong way
ちょ
round.
っとも
You
らっ
know,
ていけば
between this and the tea fiasco, I sometimes feel like I barely know who you are anymore.
ダメか。もらっていけない。薬の棚に薬の瓶があって。
I'll just take this.
You know, I can prescribe medication if you need it. You don't have to go around stealing drugs from dead people.
It's an empty bottle, Frumple.
空の瓶。空の瓶を拝借してタオルがある。
This might prove useful.
Absolutely not. Why, if you take that, people won't be able to wash their hooves after their ablutions. Absolutely filthy. No, I won't allow it.
タオルはいただけないと。グランプルがいなくなる時間があんのかなね。寝室。
The guest bedrooms are all down here. I suppose we should investigate.
Don't know why we bother. Even the daftest criminal isn't stupid enough to leave incriminating evidence lying around his own bedroom.
いや、わかんないよ。
Well, that was a bally waste of
無駄
time.
な
What
時間
did
だ
I
った。
tell you?
なるほ
I
ど。
know, old friend, but we had to do it.
すごいな。一回で全てが片付いてしまった。じゃあ右の廊下行って、お、なんかニコッとしている。スターの
Ah,
あれか
I
な
do。believe I've met this gentleman, a fellow by the name of Tobin.
Wily looking chap. I dare say he would have a tale or two to tell.
Indeed so, quite the talented wordsmith too. He throws around some most impressive verbiage.
何の人なんだろう。
This is a self-portrait, apparently, of a fellow by the name of Lake Cabilius,
冒険
a
家。
renowned scientist and explorer.
Maybe a colleague of Gilfrey's.
Perhaps so. I believe I may have met the chap once at a party held by him and his husband. Very good food, as I recall.
屋根裏。
From what I recall, this door leads to the attic. Sadly, it appears to be locked at the
鍵がかかってい
moment.
る。
Why do people insist on locking doors all over the place? Most inconvenient. Nobody ever considers us.
また
I rather
鍵が
imagine
手
Gilfrey
に
wasn't
入ってるのか。
expecting to die, so probably wasn't anticipating our investigation.
Well, yes, I suppose the whole thing is rather more inconvenient for him.
じゃあ、これと書斎は。ああ、まだ人がいる。新聞紙。
Looks like our dear friend Inspector Culver has solved another case. It seems this was an international case. He was aided by a foreign chap named Inspector Waffles.
I'd rather go for a waffle right now.
Is there any time you couldn't?
食べたくなってきたね。お、コインケース。
A collection of old foreign coins. Gilfrey liked to keep them as a memento of his travels.
I had a patient pay me in foreign currency once. Gave me 1,000 something others as payment. Thought I was rich, but turned out they were only worth half a crown.
外貨で受け付けてくれたんだね。
I think I'll leave these be. Not really cricket to go around stealing from a dead chap.
I mean, you've done nothing but walk around picking up things that don't belong to you since we left home this morning, but have to draw the line somewhere, what?
いや、必要なもんだけ借りてるだけで。プライス博士。カメレオン。
Greetings, dear lady.
Oh, hello.
I am Lord Winklebottom III, and this is my companion, Dr. Frumple.
I'm Vivian. Dr. Vivian Price.
You're a doctor.
Yes. Sort of. Not medicine. Geology. And physics. Also biology and
最
linguistics.
上なのね。
A few things.
Yes, well, medicine is difficult, especially for a, well, you know.
Frumple.
Oh, don't worry. I'm used to that sort of reaction.
怒ってない。赤っていう
Were
の
you
は怒ってな
invited
い。
here for this great announcement too?
Me? Oh, no, I live here. Well, not here in the house, but on the island. I worked, I suppose, for Admiral Gilfrey.
Strange, the maid didn't mention other stuff.
No, she wouldn't. People tend to forget about me, you see, Mr. Winklebottom. Sometimes I think I might as well just blend into the scenery.
What was the nature of your employment
駆け
here?
込んでいる。
You know of Gilfrey's expeditions. I helped him examine the artifacts he brought back. Cataloguing, mostly. But sometimes there'd be something more interesting.
Anything recently? Could that be what he intended to announce? Some big discovery?
No, nothing. I'm sure I would have known if there was something like that. I am sorry, Mr. Winklebottom.
なるほど。
What do you know of the other people in the house?
Not very much, I'm afraid. I haven't really spoken to anybody. I don't even know the staff all that well. I tried talking to the gardener earlier, but he was in a frightful temper.
なんていうの？
You mentioned the gardener was in a bad mood. Do you know why?
Oh, well, he's always kind of grumpy, you know, but he seemed perfectly livid last time I saw him. Thought he was being given the sack, I think. Something about a vegetable patch. You should probably ask him.
なるほど。ありがとう。
Thank you, miss.
ワードロープに針金ハンガーがあって、
A wire metal hanger.
Maybe his clothes are in the wash, or maybe he didn't need to wash them anyway. I mean, probably them being submerged most of the time anyway.
お洗濯の方かな、これは。じゃあハンガーちょっと借りていこう
Might
か。
come in useful, I suppose.
借りて、扉を閉めて、卵の写真。
This must be a baby photograph of Constance.
Look at a little bow.
いやー、なるほど。百科事典がある。
This appears to be a large collection of books about botany.
Plants and whatnot. How dull. Biology is much more interesting.
I wonder if I can find any information about that plant we saw in the orangery.
never-
Ah, yes, here we are.
What does it say?
Apparently, that sticky fluid in the plant is a kind of resin. Mix it with a strong alkali and apply heat source and it'll set hard as rock.
Maybe we could use that for something if we can get hold of a heat
熱
source.
源はあるから、強アルカリか。パイプ、ここ
This
にドア
tube
があ
is
るの
part
か
of。the network of pipes.
Ingenious.
圧力弁、これを
Now,
なんか
this
す
is
ると
interesting. Gilfrey will get out of his pipe network in here.
Oh, could he do that? Breathe air, I mean.
Oh yes, for a short while anyway. For longer periods, he'd use a pressure suit. But you see, if we flush out the water, we might be able to get access to the body.
Then I could carry out an autopsy. Oh, I do like a good autopsy. Oh, sorry, old
水
man.
を溜めるような入れ物が必要だね。
Photographs from some of
Yes,
Gilfrey's
I see.
expeditions.
Chap suddenly got around a bit, didn't he?
写真に貝が。
Oh, I say, this is a bit risque.
I've never understood why mole rats are so averse to wearing clothing like any normal animal.
Bunch of exhibitionists, if you ask me.
言い方よ。表示と。
The
それ
sign
は
next to this light says, "Warning, do not open pressure valve when pump is powered."
Maybe just a slight turn, just to see what happens.
No, Frumple.
書き物机開けて、メモ帳
A
がある
notepad.。Looks like the top page has been torn off.
Oh, you know what this means. Quick, give me a pencil. I'm going to rub over it and reveal what was written on the
そうだ
torn
ね、
off
定
sheet.
番のやつ
This
ね
is。my favourite.
さあ、何が書いてあるのか。
It's working,
見せて
it's
くれ。
working.
Let me see now. 1 dozen eggs, 1 lettuce, a quart of milk. Well done, Frumple. You uncovered an old shopping list.
Oh, how disappointing.
買い物メモだったか。メモ帳他には
This is
ない
the
の？
most upsetting thing that's happened all day.
I'm not sure it's quite at the top of my list, Frumple.
ないのか。あと手紙用のカッターナ
A
イ
small
フがある。
blade used for opening letters.
My God, Winklebottom, this might be it. The murder weapon.
Other than there being no blood in the water, this blade barely being sharp enough to break paper, let alone flesh, and the fact the murderer would have to dry it off and place it back in his desk after using it rather than just taking it with him, yes, I'd say this fits the facts rather well.
Nobody likes you when you act like a blasted clever clogs, you know.
On top of all that, we don't even know that this is a murder yet.
Yes, you've made your point.
そうだね、死因がわかんないし、しかし、巻かれた紙。
Oh look, this is a map of the island. This will be useful, I'm sure.
右の引き出し。封筒が
Let's take
空
one
か。
of these envelopes.
で、これで
I've already got.
いただいたから、じゃあ閉めておこうか。ここは閉めらんないのね。で、潜水用スーツがある。
A diving suit, used by Gilfrey to remain out of his tube system for long periods. It looks like the helmet can be removed.
なるほど。これを
I know I can carry a lot of things, but I draw the line at lugging around a big metal
理由
helmet
があれ
for
ば
no
持
very
ち
good
歩いて
reason.
くれるのか。なるほど。スーツを持っ
I
てい
don't
ける。
really think this diving suit would fit me.
で、じゃあ、スポートさんとは。
Greetings, good sir.
Ulysses Spode of Spode, and Flabbernacle. At your service, sir.
What a ludicrous collection of names that is.
Quite so, Frumple. And what part do you play in today's events?
Don't rightly know, sir. Old Gilfrey wanted me to come and observe, he said. Worried there might be a spot of bother about whatever it was he was announcing.
Legal bother, you mean?
As you say. Wouldn't tell me in advance what the whole bally palaver was all about, though. I suppose now we'll never know.
Well, perhaps.
So, since I'm here anyway and the old boy has popped off, might as well sort through his paperwork and make sure everything is in order. Lots to sort out when somebody dies, you know. Especially somebody as rich as him.
We shall speak more later.
あんまり
Always here
情
if you
報
need
が
me.
ないね。とりあえず、じゃあ、これで、みんなにあったか。外に、出る。出られるかなあ、出られるね。鍵が落ちてる泥が、
I say, Frumple, look, there's an imprint here. Somebody must have dropped something in the wet mud. On the shade, I deduce.
It's very obviously a key. There's no need to act so badly clever
なん
about
だ
it,
こ
you
の
know?
泥。
As you say, a key.
誰
Hello, my good man.
Do you mind? I have work to do.
Ah,
the storm is going to
Yoshi.
ruin my plants.
Perhaps you've not yet heard, but I'm afraid your master.
Oh, I've heard. And where does that leave me? That's what I want to know. Bloody inconsiderate of him it is.
Charming fellow, isn't he?
I wonder if you could help procure me some kind of portable heat source.
Procure a heat source? Look, Mush, if you want to borrow a lamp, just bloody well say so, why don't you?
Well, it's not too much trouble.
Oh, no, that's just fine and dandy. I tell you what, you wait here in the shelter while I go off in the middle of a bloody storm to find you a lamp. Wouldn't want you to go to any bother, like.
Most gracious of you, I'm
あ
sure.
りがとう。
Well, here you are then. Do be careful not to burn your bloody hooves on it, won't
落
you?
ちたから。
I'm off inside, now that I've battened down the hatches out here. Don't feel you have to follow me, like.
この人が、粘液まみれの、
Never did like
あれか、
invertebrates.
庭師の人か。
Somebody must have dropped a key into the wet mud and it's left an almost perfect impression.
I wonder what is a key for.
持っていけないの持っていけないのか
A coat hanger made of...
針金で拾う。
I'd really rather not.
ダメ触りたくないのかなって思ったんだけど、ダメなのか。他は、とりあえずまだ触れるところがない。島って書いてある。外に出られ
It's no
る。
good, we won't get anywhere in this weather. We'll have to wait until the
行
storm
きたく
clears
ないの
up.
か、外には。わかった。何今度
I
は
say, Frumple, what on earth was that?
Some kind of commotion coming from the drawing room, I think.
Quickly, we must investigate.
キャーって言ったね。